All right, so today's video, we're watching a gold 3 DPS on PC, and they're only playing Sombra. So they say, so you're probably wondering why Sombra. I decided to play her to learn how to properly play Sombra, since I hear a lot of different things from people on the correct way to play her, and she's a pretty fun hero. I load into this game alone, and right off the bat, my Ayari/Moira starts complaining after her dying, what is our Sombra doing? They're just saying that they end up getting rolled and then blame their Sombra. I try to leave it alone and focus on my gameplay. The Ayari/Moira then proceeds to backseat game me, and I tell her if she wanted to play DPS, she should have queued for it. You know, a little side note in this one, and I see this happen all the time in ranked. You ever notice that, like, once a player hones in on, like, where they think a problem is, no matter what you do on that hero, they will still complain about it the whole game? Like, you could be playing perfect outside of that early moment, and then they'll just the whole time, no matter what you do, it's going to be your fault. And they will hard focus on that the whole game, and then they'll finish with triple your deaths, and somehow it's everybody else's fault. Yep, and they'll just sit there and blame that one person the whole time, no matter what. You see that with another thing too. And there's another time where that happens. Do you ever get into a rank game where there's two people who play the same hero, and the other person that doesn't get the hero just sits there and comments on every single play they do the whole game because they're on their hero, but like no matter what's happening, whether they're playing it good or bad, they just sit there and comment on how they're playing the hero incorrectly the whole time, even though it like even if they're playing right or like good. Anyway. Okay, I feel as though I'm popping off, yet this Moira keeps talking in both voice and text, saying I need to switch, I'm not doing any damage. Sombra does not do a lot of damage, by the way. Sombra is not a high damage hero. Stop looking at, like, Sombra's damage. Now, listen, if Sombra's doing 50 damage throughout a game, different story. But if Sombra's at 4,000, 5,000 damage throughout a whole game, it's not uncommon to see that. I try to be nice and let them know Sombra isn't a character that will have high DPS in games because of her playstyle, and they told me I was lying, and that isn't true. At the end of round 1, they started to say I suck and wasn't doing anything for the team, so I had decided to ignore them and lock in for the rest of my team. Also, my team and enemy team cuts in and starts to tell the Moira to chill, that I'm actually playing pretty well, and that if they can't kill a Genji as Moira, that it isn't the Sombra's problem. One thing I do notice I suck on at Sombra is I tend to stay too long. I try to tend to stay, you try to stay too long to secure in a limb instead of just harassing the enemy backline. Any tips would be appreciated, since I do want to get better at not only Sombra, but many others as well. So this sounds like one of those games where, like, you had a teammate who was just telling you that everything you were doing was wrong. Let's find out. That was a long paragraph. Holy crap, I just read a thesis. Here we go.
Don't let that payload move any further.
Okay, so here's my question for you. Why are you leading off with shooting 2 bullets? I mean, at the very least, if you're going to try to, like, do a little bit of pressure, just throw a virus at them if they're just going to stand still, right? At least at that point, they have to react a little bit more aggressively than you shooting 4 damage at them across the map. So your argument here is probably like, oh, you wanted to play at range, etc. Yeah, but, like, you also have the opportunity to go to, like, spots in the map. Like, for example, if you play close, you can just immediately go up top here, right? And just hide up here and wait. And, like, no one's going to be able to get you on their team except the Widow, who would grapple for you. And if their Widow grapples, hits a great shot on you, great. And if they miss, you probably get a free limb. So, I see what you're doing, but, like, you know, all right, wonderful. You know, don't be afraid to, like, throw, like, a virus at them a little bit here. Okay. Remember, you don't have to lead off with a hack if you don't want to. Also, remember the target priority when yes, you do get the bubble out of Zarya for that, but, like, at the same time, you're going to lose a lot of value on that one. Remember, you don't have to lead off with a hack, too. A lot of suggestions I've heard is just lead off with the virus damage combo, and it gives them less time to react, and you can get some pretty free limbs that way, all right? Is this the first spectating of the day? It is, yes. All right, there you go. Okay, like, this Widow should fall over in a second. You know they're up here, too. Just please look to your right. Please look to your right. Oh, no. There's a Widow. Oh, there, you lost your timing. I will say, and I do want to pause here because there's a difference between what I talked about of, like, Sombra not doing damage, and, like, I'm going to be real with you. I feel like you're out of the fight too much right now, especially when they have a Widow, right? Let me kind of explain this. I can kind of, like, understand if, like, they're running, like, a Torb or something, like a Torb Cassidy comp, and you're being a little bit more hesitant with your play, but, like, Sombra is like really good against Widow. And even with a Mercy pocket, it's a lot easier to follow up. And the reason being is because you have the DPS passive now, right? So the Mercy can't like hardcore pocket somebody as much as they used to, especially if you're doing that. So it feels like you're trying to wait too long and against a comp that you can get a little bit more value with. So yes, you're going to do less damage as Sombra, but it feels like you're just way too much out of the team fight. And it goes back to something that we've been adding the next layer of this to my spectatings is you can know all this stuff, you know, play smart, go around the map, do all these things. But like, if you aren't going to become a playmaker, if you're not going to become a playmaker at any point, do you get what I'm saying? Like, you're going to do nothing. And so far, you've kind of done nothing. And it's because like, you're just playing it too safe. See? Even that play right there was better than what you were doing, and you went into their team, right? Look at what you did. You caused pressure. They got the point, right? But like you caused pressure. You just built up all the L charge you didn't build up the whole time. And that's why like I want to make sure I get players in the mindset of like, if you play too safe, you become so reliant on so many like things falling into place that you kind of like, you're almost rolling the dice sometimes, right? You're not giving yourself opportunity. You need to find ways to create that, the game in your favor. And when you go kind of like in the AFK playstyle a lot more, and obviously you can tell this is where the Moira is saying stuff, or was saying stuff, whatever they're on now, or the Ayari that is, excuse me. Like, if you just end up doing nothing the whole time, you're relying so heavily on like your Widow to get a bunch of picks, right? And then when you get 3 picks, you're like, oh, I can go in now? Not the case. By the way, this would be a good EMP opportunity. There you go. Actually, okay, I gotta talk about that. Good job on the Widow. I thought that was gonna be a good EMP opportunity, but I saw the same thing that you saw. I'm gonna be honest with you. It ended up not being the EMP you wanted to do because nobody was there. But I honestly, I'll be real with you. I saw the same thing you saw, so I won't go too deep on that one. I had the same timings that you had, which means that like you thought your team was gonna be there and they weren't there. Which means that when you have situations like this, just get in the mindset of like checking for your team. Like just like, you know, look behind you. You have like an extra second there if you want to. If they're not there, wait a second, then go for the EMP. Even though I even recommended going for the EMP there, but I saw the same thing, so that was on me. I just didn't even see that. Anyway. Actually ended up being a good hack, even though you could have let off a virus with the same. Yeah. Isn't it great when you get the limb finally on the Zarya and they immediately res it and you can't do anything about it? They do have grab, so be careful of this, by the way. It's easy for you to get grabbed here. Okay. No, exactly. It's one of those, like, it wasn't a bad EMP, but when you look at it in hindsight, it was. Because, like, it just was the vision they had. I guess I saw the same thing. You see, okay, and I want to show you this right now. Do you see how, like, your Widow gets those picks, and now you're, like, playing way more confident and going in there? Do you see the problem that I'm trying to, like, showcase here? Is that when you become so reliant on those teammates getting those picks, you don't do anything until they get those picks. And you can't just, like, sit there and expect your teammate in every single game that you play to pop off on Widow on Dorado, right? You need to find ways to make plays, and if you don't, you're just going to be stuck there, you know, hoping for something to happen. So. I like how you ended up in that grab. Now get out of there. Get out. Yep, that's on you. Remember, when they Moira ult, it's one of the hardest ultimates to kind of get away from. So when you have an opportunity there where the Moira's out of position, just translocate out of there. You're going to be fine. Don't try to battle that or hack the ultimate because you have 8 HP. They need to hit you literally once and you're going to fall over. Which is exactly what happened. Is this the part where your Moira's just like talking the whole time? All right, we're watching. Okay. That was an interesting 1v1. Hack the health back. There you go. Remember, lead off with Virus a little bit more. The reason why you lead off with Virus a little bit more sometimes is just because, like, it's harder for them to react to the play. When you lead off with a hack, it gives them time to react to your next set of damage. You kind of lose a little bit of burst damage opportunity. That's why a lot of Sombras, like, have been recommended, like, just try to lead off with a Virus. Like, right there, that's good. Right? They now have, you have a better opportunity. That EMP is better, by the way. That's a good EMP. That was a good EMP. You knew your team was there. You guarantee the team fight. Now the argument is like, okay, they're down an extra person. Like, do you do that? I think that's fine. Honestly, especially on a map like Dorado, I think just winning the team fight is so important that like this is one of the maps where stacking ultimates isn't as strong than other maps. And it doesn't mean that like having 5 ultimates isn't good on Dorado. It just means like it's also a map where like it can come down to like a Widow getting 3 picks and your ultimates don't even matter. By the way, wonderful play right there. That right there is what I'm talking about. Do you see that? That is a playmaking play where you put pressure on them. Now imagine not doing that the whole game. That's what you were doing. You see how easy that was to get the Widow? You have chosen not to do that the whole game.
The enemy team is pushing the payload.
Nice. Playmaking. See that? Good job.
Surrender to my
Now keep in mind, you've been doing that the whole game.
No one can hide.
You've been doing, you could have done that the whole game. And now you finally started doing that. You see?
Unassailable progress.
That's what I want you to be more involved in. All right? That's where you want to be more involved. Because like right there was a great play across the board. Now we're seeing more playmaking ability. Nice job. Wonderful. If you're wondering why they threw the translocator at the floor there, it's so you can go into stealth quicker. Let's go for the Widow. What are you waiting for? Do you see this? Do you see what I'm talking about? That's playmaking. That is playmaking. Use your virus a bit more too. Get out of there top. Mercy's up there, but I think it'll be fine. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, what was the problem you made here? What was the mistake you made? Chat knows. Yeah. Just to pause there, because chat said it. There was a Moira underneath the bridge, and you decided to line of sight your own ultimate, and when you do that, that's what happens. So next time in that situation, EMP the Moira. At the very worst, you force out the fade from the Moira, in my opinion. Like, you'll force out the fade. So, like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you need to make sure to go and make an aggressive play with that. Otherwise, you'll probably lose the team fight, because the Moira can win that. They do have a grab also, so that probably
Almost
does
won
win you
the
the
game.
game, though. I think that does win you the round, though. In my opinion, I think you win off of that. I think that's a game changer right there. I think you'll lose this team fight, but we'll also give it a second and see what happens. Nice pick. Maybe not. Maybe you win this. Oh, it's so close. I can't believe nobody killed that Genji. Holy crap. I can't believe that Genji survived that. There is no way. You can absolutely believe that? Oh, okay, fair enough. All right, what's your plan here? So we call that the I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to run around in circles to figure out what I want to do, and then you end up in the exact same spot. So what do we learn? 1, don't do that. 2, what is their Sombra doing? But no, you want to, like, if you're running around in circles, just, like, always think, like, okay, where are they at? Where can I go deny space in the map? That's what you want to do. Like, you don't need to just run in circles, do, like, a loop, and then end up back in the same spot. You're not Cassidy, remember that. So, like, a lot of what happens there is you were playing that like Cassidy with Sombra, play more angles and play more around the map, straight up. That's always what I do is, like, Cassidy will be a mid-range hero. If you're trying to play Sombra like Cassidy, it won't go well most of the time. Because it's easier to follow up on you now. Just be careful. Wait for it. Okay, remember, you have EMP now, so make sure you time your EMP correctly, but also don't wait. Come on, I see it. You see it. You see the opportunity right now. Go. Go. Don't wait. I'm telling you right now, the longer you wait, the more likely they're going to win this. Okay, let's wait even longer. All right, I guess we'll wait on your Orisa. Okay, you got to pick now. It's looking a lot better. Ready, set, go. 3, 2, EMP. EMP. Wonderful. Thank you. Nice pick. You should win that. You still should win this. Feel like, so I will say it worked out in your favor. I also believe that your timings were slightly off. And I'm only going to ever mention your timings being slightly off because finding that opportunity to do something sooner will also help you win more games. It took a little bit longer than we wanted, is the best way to explain that one. A little bit longer than we wanted. So far, I mean, you had a slower start, and I feel like once you got into the game and started actually playing the game and not, like, just being afraid to make a play, we saw way more opportunity. I mean, that is that simple. Also, I do want to see you lead off with Virus a bit more. I'm telling you, you'll be surprised at how quickly that burst damage just shreds somebody. I don't think going Bastion would have been the best play there. Or maybe Bastion would have been the best play. All right, let's see what you do. Moira orb, ran by. All right, going for high ground right away. I like this because this is an easy way to isolate them in a 1v1 from the get-go. It does take time, but okay, where'd the Mercy fly to? Nice. Do you see that? Okay, where'd the Mercy fly to? Okay. So the problem there is that you're doing the same thing where you're not giving yourself the opportunity to lead off with the virus. I cannot believe no one's healing that Sojourn. I can't believe that Sojourn survived. Remember, if you hit the virus here, that Sojourn doesn't even survive that, which also should put things into perspective of how easily you can win a 1v1 duel. Aussie, thanks for the 15 months to tier 1. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Emongg blankies, emongg blankies, emongg blankies, emongg blankies, emongg blankies.
Now, by the way, a little bit of a side note, I don't mind you leading off with a hack on a diva, especially when they're low HP. That just prevents them from being able to use DM during that right away. So, like, if you want to lead off with a hack, I'm okay with that. That's going to be a very niche situation. You know what I mean? Good job. You hit a virus. You see what happens when you just go for a virus and do a shot? The Mercy couldn't do anything. Nice play. Nice job. Playmaking. See this? You see how much more involved you are than you were last time? Playmaking. Love to see it. Love to see it. Yep, staying up on the high ground. We'll see where they're at. Ping them, by the way, too, if you want to. I don't think you're using your ping system right now, so just make sure to use your ping system. Sombra has the strength of being able to ping people. There you go. Now you just did. I just watched you ping the Sojourn. You could have done that a lot sooner. Keep in mind, like, and this is why I want to get you in the mindset of, like, using your ping system, like, correctly there. Even though you may not have immediate follow-up, one of your teammates might. So, like, if you ping to me there's a Junkrat on the right side and I'm a tank, I might be able to get there and make a play on that tank, right? Just remember that. I think you were a little bit hesitant there on using your ping system because, like, you were thinking, like, oh, I can't do anything to them and I don't think anybody can, but you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Like, how good the ping system actually is. Nice. Alright. Making plays. Try to hack the res if they go for res, but I think they're not even going to be able to go for that. They might have already used it anyway. Alright. So far, so good. Look for the... Remember, you don't have to lead off with a hack. The virus is very important. You know, once again, we go back to the niche situation there. I feel like hacking the Moira when they can't use Fade for a second there actually isn't bad. So it's like, there's going to be opportunities where I'll let you know, like, where it's good to lead off with hack, but, like, get in the mindset of lead off with virus form. Good play there, by the way. Good reaction on the EMP right away, not give them any time. That was also very well played. Oh yeah, they're being very proactive this time around, which is this is why, like, I always kind of reference the concept of, like, if you're just relying on your teammates to win the game or make a play for you, like, you're not going to get much going, and you're so reliant on your teammates doing something. Why are you waiting on the Junkrat there? Okay, so, opportunity, right? I need you to look at the opportunity. Okay, the DPS passive exists now, right? So you see that Junkrat at, like, 20% HP right in front of you, and your decision is, oh, I probably shouldn't shoot at them because the Mercy is going to try to heal them. Let me go for the Mercy. Well, let me explain this to you. If they're at 20% HP and you have 20% of DPS passive where they will not catch up on heals. So you just want to kill the Junkrat, and then if you lead off with your virus, you can then just go into the Mercy rather than just use your hack and not have it for the Mercy. So point being here is, if you're concerned about the res, you shouldn't have to worry about that because you can just kill the Junkrat, and then they go for the res and you just stop them, right? They couldn't see the Junkrat health, though? I'm pretty sure they can. Oh yeah, no, they can. Just be careful of that situation. Because now what happens is, the Junkrat survives, you go for the Mercy play, and it's too late, everybody survives that, you lose a team fight. You kill the Junkrat there, that's when everything starts to kind of turn around because the other team goes, oh, I have to go for the res now. You stop the Mercy from the res, now it's a 5v4, they don't have the Junkrat there, and you can make a lot of good plays. So, yeah, you see them. Okay, so you see them right there. Now you go there. Go kill that Junkrat. Go kill that Junkrat. Yes, yes. No, kill the Junkrat. Dude, that's a free limb. That is a free limb. Yes, go get that Junkrat. Remember, use your virus on him. Okay, well, I mean, you missed, but I honestly probably would have missed too. Perfect. Free limb. Nice. Okay, now don't, like, worry about being involved for a second here. Okay, there you go. You're flicking your virus off a little bit, so just be careful of that. Patience with your virus. I talk about all the time, even with, like, Roadhog hooks, etc. Patience. Go up on high ground. Nice. Good job. I'm okay with you hacking the diva there. It's more about the limbs that you secure where you lead off with the virus. Diva's a little bit of a different story. 3, 2, 1 EMP. Remember, your EMP loses a little bit of value here just because like they have the Valkyrie going. At the same time, you do put the passive on them when you EMP them. And on top of that, your teammates had Kitsune. It ended up being a good ultimate. So, I mean, putting the passive on them alone is like going to help you against the Valkyrie to begin with. So, like, it's not the hugest deal. Just don't expect to get like the full immediate follow-up value. Just go for a virus Memorial. Yeah, you missed it, but you had the right idea. Reason being is because you saw them already use their fade. You didn't have to worry about hacking them. Uh-oh, Junkrat tire. Uh-oh. Free a pick on Junkrat, though, probably. It is. Good idea. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's not a free pick anymore, but you can do this. What did you not do? What did you not do right there? Okay. Once again, this is why you lead off with the virus. Because the virus is the one that guarantees the limbs when they start to get away. That's why you need to do that. You go virus into the shots, not shoot into virus. Because exactly what happened there. You miss your virus. The virus is, like, free to get on them. See? Because you don't do that, the Junkrat gets away. And now you're just back to square one over here. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because, like, if you start shooting at them, it gives them time to react. If you lead off with a virus and then shoot, you have a better opportunity. Right? So, like, right now, you lead off with a virus on the Junkrat for free. Ready? Right now. Yep. Remember that playmaking you had? What happened? Why? You're doing it again. You're doing it again. You see the Mercy, right? And then, yeah, this is not... Like, you like, look at what you're doing. Like, look at everything that happened right there. You have somebody, you have a Junkrat in front of you that they can't react to get. You sit there, you wait, you hack a Mercy, but then if you watch, by the way, the Mercy reacts to you hacking them, makes the virus a lot more difficult. So, a lot of what's happening here is you're just doing your rotation wrong. It's like the equivalent of, like, if you're playing, like, an MMO and you have a rotation, there's an optimal rotation that you go out of sometimes, but the optimal rotation will generally guarantee you more consistency, and you're choosing to go the opposite way on that one. I really want you to start, like, leading with your virus on these limbs, and then go into your shots, because they can't immediately react to the virus. It's already on them at that point, right? They can react to your shots, but it's much easier to hit your shots than it is to hit your virus on, like, one of those, like, when they're moving around. That's why leading off with the virus is super key there. Because the hack, or even leading with a shot, I mean, sometimes you can lead off with a shot, like, you can see that, but, like, get in the habit of not hacking first, using your virus first. And I guarantee you'll see better results. And also, just, there's been moments in this game where you were a playmaker, and there's been moments in this game where you're a spectator. You need to find more ways to be that playmaker, because spectating will not lead you to a bunch of limbs when you're playing Sombra. And that's what you're doing right now. You can't be in stealth. I want to point that out. No, there's no song being played during that one. It wasn't going to be winnable. No song for this one. By the way, just a little side note here. Just a little side note. You have to be out of stealth to touch the point. So if you're going, wow, I touched, you have to be out of stealth. Just to go back to this, okay, we're going to summarize this in general. Your Moira putting blame on you the whole game, I don't agree with. I think you had some really good moments. I think that was the case of, like, sometimes players get into a game, they find a player that they think is going to be the problem, and immediately you're the problem the whole game, no matter what the situation is. That's what it felt like. You did have moments, though, where I felt like you did go a little bit more, you went a little bit more AFK, and what I mean by that is, like, you were out of team fights, but I want you to really, like, kind of hone in, like, in the middle of the game, especially where you started to be that playmaker. If you do that, you're gonna win more. And you may win only like 3% more of your games, but sometimes that brings your win rate from 49% to 52%, which is a steady climb, right? I really want to see you, if you're gonna play Sombra, be more proactive in the way that you're playing. And remember, like, the reason why you're not getting a lot of, like, easy burst of limbs is because you're leading off incorrectly. Like I said, a lot of, like, the good Sombras that we'll have in chat come by, they'll mention, like, the virus into the shots. Now, granted, you could, in theory, if you're, like, right next to a Widow, like, in theory, you could just, like, go up next to a Widow and just, like, and then roll them. But, like, you lead off with the virus, so that way if they use any of their mobility to get away, you pretty much get the elim. And that you saw multiple times where you lost that elim, or you chose not to even go for that. So you just need to be more proactive and become the playmaker that you need to be. By the way, once again, I just want to reiterate this point to anybody watching, because apparently the Moira was telling the Sombra they're lying, that Sombra will have lower damage. Sombra will have lower damage. Yes, can there be games where Sombra has like a 10, 15,000 damage game? Yup. How often is that? It's a lot more rare than, at least for me, in the top 500 games. 4,000 to 5,000 damage sometimes is more than enough for a Sombra if they're being effective and they're being like that backline pressure hero that they can be. So Just remember that. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to all 3 YouTubes if you haven't. If you want to submit your own Spectator, look in the description below. That is where my Discord is, and you'll be able to submit stuff there. We also record these live on stream. If you look below the webcam, you can see a Twitch chat. Stop by if you haven't. With that being said, hope you all have an amazing day/night.